Hello Pisces, and welcome to your August of 2022 Taroscopes. My name is vickieverlie, and I am the Rock and Roll Prophetess, and you can find me at vickieverlie.com. We are going to talk about the big transits that's coming up for each sign, but first I just want to talk about the decks that I'm going to use. The mini Rock and Roll Tarot deck for the main portion of the reading, the initial Celtic Cross. Then we're going to do the second portion from the good old Hanson Roberts, a longtime favorite. And then if you're a Patreon supporter, there's going to be some bonus cards pulled, and we're going to use the mini Rider-Waite. So we're going old school here. We're going old school tarot cards with that. So, but first, before we start, I want to do for each sign just a real brief thing about this whole Uranus North Node conjunction. And Mars is involved too, but the bigger news is it's the Uranus North Node conjunction. Now, technically, it starts kind of in late July. I mean, we're feeling it in late July, but the exact moment is actually going to be right around July 31st to August 1st, depending on your location. And this is when the North Node is going to meet with Uranus in the sign of Taurus here. And you guys are Pisces, so I'm going to put the wheel around for the Pisces energy. It's also on the North Nodes. The nodes are very karmic. When I do a soul reading, that's very much what I look at is the, where your nodes are. That's a big important thing. And the other thing that I look at in the soul readings that's also a very karma, the Lord of the karma, in fact, is the planet of Saturn, and that's in Aquarius, so it's squaring this. So we're going to look at it from the perspective if, Pisces energy. Now, if you know your rising, you definitely, on this portion of this readings, you're going to get more out of your rising sign. But, it's for, the card readings are for, anybody with prominent Pisces in your chart. Could be your sun, rising, moon, anything. Okay, so here. When you have Pisces rising, so that's your first house, second house, third house. This stuff is the conjunction of the Uranus North Node is happening in your third house of communication, of local travel, siblings. Communication is very strong. Uranus, now Uranus has been in your third house, but so Uranus has been feeding you like brilliant ideas for some time now. This conjunction with the North Node, this could be a brilliant idea or a major breakthrough or a major aha moment in your thinking, because we're looking at the third house of thoughts and mind. That is a breakthrough for you that helps you to realign with your true soul's calling, because ultimately that's what the North Node is. Now, I should be using the sun where I'm I'm doing you guys first. So you're Pisces, you're here, this will be you. And then you'll be the gold nugget, or the faux gold, what they call this, fool's gold. Now, it's making so that could be happening for a lot of you. Now, it's making a square to Saturn in the 12th. Saturn in the 12th can be difficult. It's definitely closing out a karmic cycle for many of you. And this could be breaking free, because Uranus is also breaking free and wanting our freedom, breaking free from some old paradigm, thing from your past. Another thing that's coming through right now is that it could be something from your past that, it's time, it was old, the old school, old powers that be, Saturn energy, shut it down. It's an idea that time hadn't come yet. I've had a lot of those. I come up with things and then it doesn't fly, and then 5 years later it's the big trend, and I'm not harping on the tarot readings again. This is just in life. I've had a lot of things like that. So that could be, and because Pisces, you're very intuitive anyway. You get those downloads, you get those ideas, and you've probably been getting ideas like crazy since Uranus has moved into your third house. So this is an idea whose time is right. The grip of the old paradigm of the patriarchy may not be as strong. Therefore, you could have a big breakthrough, definitely, at this time. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and now we're going to go ahead and do our initial Celtic Cross. This is for our Pisces friends, Pisces Sun, Sun, Rising, Moon, or again, anybody who has Pisces in their chart in a prominent position. This would be for you. I am opening up, too, real quick announcement, but before I lay the cards, I am opening up for the autumn equinox. I mean, it's right around the corner, coming up in mid-September. So if you want to get in on that, it'll be available, and I'll be opening up for that. It's like a quarterly year check-in as to, what's going on for you for the next upcoming, the fall season in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay. Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon, what's going on for you for the month of August of 2022? Let's see what comes out. we've got the Three of Cups, so there's going to be happiness and celebration. I'm going to move this thing down a little bit, I think, so you can see better, hopefully. And put these over to the side like this. I think that'll help. I'm doing you guys first. Sometimes I start with Aries and work my way through that way, and sometimes I start with Pisces and work my way through that way. We've got a couple of 10, well, not a 10, but a 9 and a 10. And then there's another 9. Well, you know, this looks like it could be some turnabouts and possibly even, you know, some disruption happening for a lot of our Pisces friends. You know, we've got this 8 and 9 of Swords. I mean, the rest of the cards look very favorable, but we do have this 8 and 9 of Swords. So you guys have been dealing with some anxiety. You've been dealing with some stress. You've been dealing with some anxiety. And it maybe has not allowed you to fully enjoy life or embrace life, you know, to its fullest. This could also be, you know, in the Northern Hemisphere here, it's summertime and there's a lot of parties and things happening, you know, events. This is like getting together out with friends. I wanted to say outside, but it doesn't necessarily have to be outside, but with friends. You know, some of you, I know people, I've even experienced this a little myself, you know, there's all these parties and stuff going on, but I still, you know, you're still a little leery about joining in with the crowd because of, you know, being in lockdown so long. And again, you Pisces, you're so sensitive. You know, you could be like picking up on other, when you've had that bubble of seclusion and then you get thrown back into the lion's den almost, you know, and we're going in Leo this month. It can be a little, I want to go retreat back into my, you know, my hole. But this is not the time to do that. This is definitely with this third house activation here. This is definitely a time that you do want to get out. You do want to explore and, you know, be sociable and be communicative with people and do travel in your community even, you know. It does look like there is a chance for travel. If you're worried about it because of, you know, being overly sensitive, choleric, or whatever the case may be, it's saying your wish is coming true. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through it. Or, ow, did you hear that big crack? That was my neck. Oh, it just did it again. Or anything that you are, you know, stressed out or worried about. The wish card being here is like a beautiful sign of yes. Not only you get yes, your wish is coming true, but you got the 9 and 10 of Cups. So you're really, you can be heading into some really ultimate, you know, joy and happiness kind of things. By the way, with these cards, if you see words on here or colors, let that happen. That's your guides talking. Some of you, this could have something to do with maybe somebody giving you a boost here. The Emperor is showing up and right by the wish card, and the Ace of Swords is pointing right at this Emperor. So Ace of Swords, major breakthrough. I often think of the Ace of Swords as a kind of Uranus sort of energy. You know, it's breaking through to the next level, arising to the next, you know, level of consciousness, the next level of success, a lot of different things. There does seem to be an earth sign energy. Now, I don't do any gender in these readings, so this is just an earth sign energy. It may not be a female necessarily, but earth sign. We're looking at Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. We have to note that we are going to be moving into the sign of Virgo during the month of August, and that's going to be occurring on the 22nd. So that could be something that pops up, you know, after that on the 22nd or even a little after that. There is something that there's been a standstill here. And there's the Ace of Swords, so I feel like we're having a breakthrough, but maybe it's not completely, you know, maybe the part of, you know, they're breaking through the bricks in the wall, but maybe some of the wall is still standing. I mean, it's not just poof. I will say for some people, because sometimes with Uranus it could be poof, everything's different. But normally, probably not, you know. Normally it's a breakthrough, it's a beginning, but then there's still, you know, more to go. There's another leg of your journey is what the guides are coming through with. Okay, so you are Pisces, of course you are a water sign energy. So you are going to be represented by the cups, or the water sign energy in the cards. So we're going to look for any of the adult water sign cards. That could be the King, Queen, or Knight of Cups. So whoever shows up first in the second part of this spread, that is going to be the card that's going to represent you, regardless of gender. And then we're going to look at the cards that are surrounding that specific court card to give us a little bit more insight into Pisces for, I was going to say July, but it's of course August. Got King of Pentacles. So we got 2 times with the Earth sign. The King of Pentacles, these Pentacle people are showing up and wanting to, you know, give you some money, making you some sort of an offer, possibly a job offer, or I was almost going to say collaboration. Look what shows up next, Two of Rods. That could absolutely be a collaboration, but it's also like your path opening up. Ace of Cups, new beginning in love, but also maybe a new beginning in just like creativity and really enjoying your job or enjoying the work you're doing. There's that Three of Cups again. So we've got the Three of Cups there twice. They're very much, I heard something, hold on a second. They're very much telling you that get out and enjoy life, get out and be amongst people, and with safety, of course. We always want to be safe, of course. Some of you may be definitely getting into a love relationship, possibly with an air sign or even with your lawyer in some cases here. Okay, I don't know if that's going to end well. Here's another earth sign energy. So you're going to be dealing with earth sign people or interacting with people financially, or, you know, coming up, here's that, I said lawyer, and here's the justice card. You know, something with law and legal, but here you are, showing up as the king, finally. Finally, here you are. Now I want to put a few more cards going this way, and then we're going to put another row of cards below you. So, oh, there you are again. So either one, so we can get a little bit more insight and information. All right, I probably will have to move this a little bit so you can see, because I do want to come down, and we're going to really zoom in. It's going to be a little crooked, sorry, but I want to get this, there we go. So here you are. This is the card that represents you, so we're really going to focus on this little area just right around you, okay? You know, this does look like there is for some of you, some kind of legal thing that's been going on, maybe even a divorce or child support in some cases, some kind of battle. Maybe it's some kind of for some of you, I feel like it's some kind of a long-standing battle that, excuse me, that you know, you're tired of trying to reason with this person. You're going to have to get, you know, somebody else involved. Like, I feel like for some of you, you've tried to be nice, and that just isn't working, that they are not responding to that. So therefore, you have to, you know, call a lawyer, or call, you know, whoever. Call your councilman, or getting the supervisor or somebody involved if it's a work situation. I like that initially that you showed up as the king. That's always a good sign, because that tells us that you're a king, that you're handling things in a mature way, that you are, you know, you're further along on your journey. You're ready to really step into your power. You're ready to really step into it. And we have this Emperor. Didn't we have the Emperor in the beginning too? Yeah, we have the Emperor showing up twice. Showed up in the initial reading, and it's showing up like 2 cards away from you. So there's somebody in a position of power. It could be a female, because both times too, if you notice, the Queen of Pentacles was right there also. We got the Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor here. Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor here. So even though I don't assign gender, it might be a female. But it could be this Pentacle energy, this Pentacle person. It does look like it's a great opportunity for you. You've got news coming with this air sign energy around. Well, we're going to have a full moon on the 11th of August. And that whole thing that we talked about at the beginning, that whole astrology thing, that will still be active all the way through till like mid-August. You know, it's definitely not just a one-day event. You know, it's a big undertaking that's happening here. So, you know, it could be somewhere around that time of that full moon, which again is going to be on the 11th. Definitely looks like some money. Looks like you're walking away from some past, you know, drama, trauma, you know, tower energy. Things are crumbling in the past, but you feel fine. I'm hearing that it's the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine. And I feel like that's where you're at, Pisces, or that's where you could definitely be. You know, you've got to, you know, 100% release some of these things that showed up in the very beginning when we had all this, you know, sword cards kind of blocking you. So don't get caught up in that. Be in this Fool energy, being in this trusting, you know, I know the universe is going to help me. But, you know, if you do have to take action, some of you, I feel like this might just be negotiating some contract, or fight, you know, maybe going to buy a house or property, or you're negotiating the price. For some of you, I feel like this is somebody who has just been screwing with you and messing with you for a long time and causing you problems, and you may have to take a stand. You may have to take a stand, Pisces. Not these cards. Where's the animal? Oh, I forgot to mention the animal totems, and I even forgot to get the card, the whole deck out. It's over right here, though. I have it right handy. because that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna move on to our animal totem. Where the hell is this? It's here. I have it. Sorry, I'm leaving this card, and I'm not gonna edit the tape just for this little minor blip here. Because editing the tape, for me, it takes hours. It might take 5 hours. It's just the process. It's not the cutting the clips together. It's the process of the editing. I have older computers, I guess, but it just takes usually like 5 hours. You know? So I don't really want to tie up my computer and wait around for 5 hours just because of one little thing like this. Okay, but what is the animal totem for our Pisces friends here for the month of August? You've got the ladybug. That's luck. That's luck is going to find you. I'm hearing luck is following you around. I really like that. I wonder if I'm missing some of the cards. Yeah, I was. I was going to say this deck feels really light. There was a few cards that weren't in it, but I still say that this is for you, the ladybug. Because this is a good one. You want this one. So lady luck. Ladybug. Ladybug brings lady luck. It's the very first thing that I wrote on the card, so let's read it. Lady luck, or lucky lady of the garden, harbinger of happiness and joy. Rid my life of obstacles that are destructive to my divine right to flourish. Yeah, and that could be definitely happening, and you might be, you know, having to actually take some action on that. But otherwise, you know, you're definitely turning a corner. If any of you consider visiting some of these old things, when I'm going to refer back to this chart for just a second here. You know, consider revisiting some of these old situations, because that stuff is coming out of your 12th house. You know, you could absolutely be something that, you know, was before its time and it wasn't really ready to be previewed, or you may have gotten a, you know, a big, oh, forget it, you're dreaming, you know, you Pisces, you dreamer. It's never going to happen kind of energy from it. It could happen now. It could come back because it'll have this, they're talking about being on solid ground, and that's also, you know, a lot to do with, you know, this earth energy that's showing up everywhere, and the sign, all this stuff that I was talking about is happening in the sign of Taurus, the Uranus North Node conjunction. Okay, so I want to remind you one more time, don't forget about the Libra Ingress. It's right around the corner. I prefer to start a little early, so hopefully the readings are a little spaced out and I just don't get pummeled at the, you know, at the end and become really overwhelmed. So if you're considering ordering it, maybe some of you want to order a little early. I always give like a good month or so a time frame before leading up to it in order to place the order. And I wanted to point out, you know, again, I have my Sigil book, which is becoming real popular. A lot of people have been ordering it. Thank everybody for that. I wanted to mention this, since we're having the North Node and the Uranus and all this space age stuff. This is a book. I mean, I do have it on my website, but I wrote it in 2012, and I wrote it under a pen name, vickieverlie, which is actually an anagram of my real last name, Verlie, Lariv. It's a novella. It's fictional. It's a paranormal romance. It's, you know, it needs a little work. I kind of was rushing because I wanted to make sure I got it out in 2012 before the big alignment in 2012. But it's, you know, it's a fictional account about the Pleiadians, but there was many it's a romance too, which I'm not a romance reader either. But that, see, back when I wrote this, that was very popular. That's when Twilight and the other one, Sookie Stackhouse, there was like 3 different ones that were like hugely popular, these paranormal romances. So I put it in this format of the paranormal romance. But at any rate, I wanted to let her, I didn't want to come out with it about my real name, but I'm totally coming out with it now. So it's 10 years old. I wrote it 10 years ago. And this is my illustration and everything too. But, you know, if anybody's out there that, number one, enjoys, you know, this kind of sci-fi paranormal stuff, I just entered it into the Kindle Select, which means if you're in the Kindle Lending Library, it'll be available for free to read. And I happened to look, I guess somebody gave me a bad review. Somebody didn't like the book. And so now I was just looking up the link, and at this moment, like Amazon, it has it on a deep, deep discount. They're selling it like for $3 or something. So really, really cheap. I don't know if that's going to be the case when you're watching the video, but you know, it's available on Kindle or paperback. I always saw this as, you know, more of like on video of some sort, movie, TV series, you know, something along those lines. So if there's anybody out there that is looking for this kind of material and would like to, you know, talk about it or consider it, it needs fixing up. You know, it needs some polishing for sure. You know, but you know, I think it's a good story, and I also think that what was I going to say about it? It's a good story. Oh, and I also somewhere right after I wrote it, I was getting a ton more downloads. There could be a lot more to this story. There could be a lot more, you know, with walk-ins and all kinds of things. So it doesn't stop at the end of this book. I mean, it does. I never wrote another book, but I mean, there's ideas. I've got a whole notebook full of, you know, possible freaky twists and turns and time travel and walk-ins and all kinds of stuff that could be happening, you know, later after this. It could be a continuing story, in other words. Yeah, so, I mean, I try to include it with my regular books on Amazon, but for some reason, because it's a different author, I went through a bunch of hoops and it's still just not happening. So I thought I'd just tell everybody. I came across it. I was cleaning out my bookshelf. I go, man, I should tell people about this, because I don't think I've ever mentioned this in the tarot readings either. Okay, but enough about me. This is your reading. You know, expect the unexpected. You know, Uranus node, but also with it being the North node, there's you know, it's going to be trying to push us all into the future, push us all into our highest calling. And you know, you Pisces, you guys are real good at picking up that stuff if you allow it in. If you have the ear to listen, is the way the guys are putting it. Okay, Pisces, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoy my channel. That really helps, and I enjoy your comments too. I always read them all. That triggers the YouTube algorithm and allows more people to see my readings and my art and all the other things that I do, all which are available on my website, vickieverlie.com. Don't be fooled by imposters. Have a great month of, I was going to say November, but of course it's August, but maybe there's something November for somebody out there. And, you know, expect the unexpected. It's going to be an exciting month, I believe. Have a great one. Your love and beauty incarnate, Patriot people. You'll be up next. Talk to you next time. Bye.